Can we talk NBA right now?
Sure.
I know you're from Arizona and you live in LA. Do you have an NBA team?
I grew up in Phoenix, so I grew up in the Steve Nash era and Amari Stoudemire.
My favorite player.
Steve Nash.
Yeah.
My favorite player as well. One of the most skilled of all time. So, I was very lucky to grow up watching him and Amari Stoudemire and Sean Marion and Joe Johnson, Boris Diaw eventually. Those are really fun teams. So, they kind of modernized the basketball that we see today. So
7 seconds or less.
7 seconds or less. Now it's 3 seconds or less with some of these teams. But it was a crazy offseason. I mean, I think we're going to see more parity in the NBA than we probably ever have.
Probably you don't want to talk about the Phoenix Suns, but we'll go there in just a moment. In the last few years, there's been a boom of international players in the NBA. And last season, we had 4 of the major 6 individual awards to international players. Yeah. MVP to a Greek guy, some might know, the Defensive Player of the Year for Rudy Gobert, Rookie of the Year for Doncic, and Siakam with the Most Improved. What does this mean to today's game? I know David Stern wanted to globalize the game. Yeah. What does this mean to today's game and today's NBA?
I think that the NBA game has really shifted more toward European basketball. It's not so much about having 2 traditional big men anymore. It's more about space, three-point shooting, sharing the ball, guys with high basketball IQ. And where do you look further for that than Europe? So I think the change in style has led to more European prospects. And then I think also the growth of African basketball has been really big. When you look at a guy like Joel Embiid or Pascal Siakam, on that continent, there's guys who look like Giannis walking the streets, And I help out with the Uganda national team as an assistant coach and have been able to spend some time over there. And I think that's going to continue to grow as well. So the game has never been more global, and I think that's huge for all of us. I really do.
Talking about European talent, we're not as physical as the Americans. How do you explain the success Europeans are having in such a physical and tough league as the NBA?
I think that over here, oftentimes you grow up with a ball in your hands. If you go to a place like Serbia or Croatia, like the Doncic, right? I mean, he's so special because he grew up playing since he was a little kid and was empowered to have the ball in his hands and make decisions and show his creativity. And I think that's a huge part of it, just living and breathing basketball over here. It's obviously huge. Maybe you don't have the same one-on-one game or the physical abilities, but like I said, the skill is really everything now in the NBA, and you have a lot of that in Europe.
So do you think European players are more and more ready to make an impact as they get to the NBA?
Yeah, I think nowadays for sure, and being able to play in first division leagues, like a Doncic, being able to play in the EuroLeague, be the best player really in the EuroLeague, that we've never seen that. So I think this year it's going to be huge for internationals this next coming draft. We have Deni Avdija, who's playing with Maccabi Tel Aviv, plays a little bit like Luka. He's not exactly Luka, but we call him Luka Light. Has some similarities, and then Theo Maledon with Asvel. He's going to be playing EuroLeague next year. So I think next year's draft has a chance to be, one of the best international drafts we've seen maybe in the last 5 to 10 years.
What about the NCAA? What benefits can international players get from playing in Division I basketball?
I think you get used to the American style of play a little bit. You get used to the culture. You look at a guy like Lauri Markkanen. I think Arizona was huge for him. He goes in the top 10, and now he's been an awesome NBA player. He got stronger. He helped his body. I think there's more of an emphasis on strength and conditioning, maximizing your athleticism, being preventative with your injuries, and just making sure that you're the best athlete you can be. So I do think that there's a huge benefit to playing in the NCAA from that regard, especially if you're maybe a middle tier type of prospect. If you're a Doncic or you're a Maledon, I get it. You stay in first division, you play your minutes, then you go straight to the NBA. But if you're a guy who can really improve his body and all those things I mentioned, it doesn't hurt to go the NCAA route.
Okay. About the 2019 rookie class, everybody talks Zion, but I'd like to ask you, besides Zion, Ja Morant, R.J. Barrett, what kind of talent maybe was hidden are big steals that we should be paying attention?
Yeah, the one I really like is Nikhil Alexander-Walker, a Canadian kid out of Virginia Tech. Was drafted to the Pelicans 17th overall. I think he's a major steal. 6'6", long arms, can play point guard, can play shooting guard, defends multiple positions, he passes with either hand. He's really what you're looking for in today's game. And then one other name is Ty Jerome from the University of Virginia, 6'5", really tough, shoots it, kind of a European style of game, plays pick and roll, doesn't have a great body, doesn't have highest level athleticism, but can really play. So while everyone talks about the Zions and these guys, I think it was a deeper draft than it got credit for.
You just said in the beginning that a lot more parity in the NBA now, no more big threes. This free agency is wild.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I think the Clippers is really where I'm looking, with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and a team that really overperformed last season. And I like that they didn't lose their identity adding those guys. They got two guys who defend just like they want to. They can play modern basketball with small, they can play big. So to me, that's the favorite right now, is the Los Angeles Clippers.
And with Beverly, what perimeter defense they're gonna have?
Yeah, incredible. With a guy like Patrick Beverly, a guy like Kawhi who can guard all four positions, and then the energy of a Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams as a six-man type of guy. They re-signed Zubac. They drafted the kid Kabengele, who's another steal. So they're deep, they're tough. I think they're the one to beat.
You think they're the favorites to win the title?
For me, yes. You look at Giannis as well. The Lakers, they're all going to be competing. But for me, it's the Clippers right now.
What about the 76ers, for example?
I love their size. I think Al Horford is huge. He's really going to help alongside Embiid and then be able to play the backup five as well. Josh Richardson is probably one of the most underrated players in the NBA. So them and Milwaukee out of the East, I think, are the two favorites.
Okay, just to finish, to let you go watch the games, one final favor I'm going to ask you, because I always say I am the president of the Draymond Green fan club. Everybody says he is a dirty player. I always focus on defense and what he brings to the table. Please, let everybody know what Draymond means to this league and to the Golden State Warriors.
He's one of the most valuable players in the NBA that doesn't put up your traditional stats. He's not going to be in the running for MVP or any of these awards, but he's one of the main reasons the Warriors went on this incredible run. He defends five positions. He plays like a point guard on offense. Everyone's looking for a guy like this, and I think that's why teams were intrigued by Zion, is because he has a little bit of that same defensive versatility and toughness and playmaking ability. So, yeah, Draymond Green is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. I'm with you.
A little bit more serious. Being versatile is what the NBA teams are looking right now?
Exactly what they want. They want guys who can guard multiple positions, who can play on the ball, who can play off the ball, and I think that's why, the traditional big man has changed a little bit.
Okay, Mike, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your time here in Porto. Remember to try francesinha. Did you try already?
Yes, amazing.
Yeah?
Yes.
You liked it?
I loved it.
Okay, and you're invited to come back anytime you want.
Thank you, my friend.